Food is supposed to nourish us, but as you've seen, some of the most innocent-looking staples come with a dark side. From common greens to pantry classics, nature has a twisted sense of humor when it comes to survival. So next time you reach for that potato or kale salad, remember, knowing what's on your plate might just save your life. Stay curious, and maybe double-check your leftovers. Number 15. Rhubarb leaves. Rhubarb pie? Delicious. But those rhubarb leaves, that's dangerous. While most people know to use only the stalks, the leaves are packed with oxalic acid, which can cause kidney failure if consumed in large amounts. Here's the kicker. The leaves look just as edible as the stalks, and careless home gardeners have mistakenly tossed them into recipes. Cooking doesn't remove the toxins, so no pie can save you if you slip them in. Number 14. Apple seeds. They always say, an apple a day may keep the doctor away, but crunching the seeds might send you there fast. Apple seeds contain amygdalin, which converts to cyanide when crushed or chewed. Accidentally swallowing a few whole seeds is harmless, but chewing a bunch? That's a recipe for poisoning. Most people spit them out, but here's the twist. Juicing or grinding whole apples without removing seeds can release cyanide into drinks. So next time you toss apples into the blender, ask yourself, are you blending up a health boost or a toxic cocktail? Number 13. Cherry, peach, apricot pits. Cherry pies, peach cobblers, apricot jams. They sound harmless, right? But the pits inside these fruits contain cyanogenic compounds that can release cyanide when crushed. Accidentally swallowing a pit whole usually isn't dangerous, but chewing them or cracking them open, that's another story. Here's the creepy part. Some homemade liqueurs and jams intentionally steep crushed pits for flavor, risking toxicity. Number 12. Bitter almonds. Bitter almonds aren't your everyday snack. They contain dangerously high levels of cyanide. Just a handful of raw bitter almonds can be fatal. Most commercial almonds are the sweet, non-toxic variety. But bitter almonds sometimes slip into specialty liqueurs or health foods. Here's the chilling part. If bitter almonds aren't processed correctly, they stay lethal. So the next time you see almond extract or bitter almond oil on a label, maybe pause and wonder, what's lurking in that little bottle? Number 11. Nutmeg. Nutmeg is a cozy kitchen favorite, sprinkled on lattes, pies, and holiday cookies. But under that sweet aroma hides a dangerous side. In large amounts, about 2 teaspoons or more, nutmeg acts as a hallucinogen, causing dizziness, nausea, and even seizures. There have been cases of people overdosing after trying internet nutmeg challenges, with terrifying results. Here's the unnerving part. It's easy to assume natural spices are harmless, but one heavy-handed pour, one misjudged dare, and suddenly your favorite baking ingredient turns into a full-blown toxic trip. Number 10. Licorice. That old-fashioned black licorice isn't just polarizing in flavor, it's secretly dangerous. Natural licorice contains glycyrrhizin, a compound that can lower potassium levels and cause high blood pressure, abnormal heart rhythms, and even heart failure when consumed in large amounts. The shocker? You don't need to eat a truckload. Just a few ounces a day over a couple of weeks can push your body into dangerous territory. And it's not just candy. Some teas, supplements, and herbal remedies contain licorice extract. So, the next time you pop a licorice twist or sip a herbal tea, maybe ask yourself, how much is too much before your sweet treat turns sinister? Number 9. Raw honey. Raw honey sounds wholesome, even healing, but for infants, it's a hidden hazard. Unpasteurized honey can carry botulism spores, which adults and older children can handle, but babies' immature systems can't. Just a tiny taste can trigger infant botulism, a rare but potentially fatal condition. Even for adults, raw honey occasionally contains granulotoxins from certain plants, causing mad honey poisoning with hallucinations, dizziness, and nausea. Here's the unnerving part. The jar that looks so pure and golden on your shelf has a darker side few people suspect. Sweet doesn't always mean safe. Number 8. Hot dogs. They're a summer BBQ classic, beloved by kids and adults alike. But hot dogs are also a choking hazard, especially for young children. The smooth, round shape makes them the #1 cause of food-related choking deaths in kids under 3. Here's the twist. It's not just toddlers at risk. Adults distracted while eating, laughing, or talking can choke just as easily. The solution is surprisingly simple. Cut them lengthwise and into small pieces. But let's be honest, how often do we remember? Number 7. Cassava or yucca cassava might sound exotic, but if you've eaten tapioca pudding or bubble tea, you've already met this starchy root. Here's the scary part. Raw cassava contains cyanogenic glycosides, which release cyanide when not properly prepared. In parts of the world where cassava is a staple, improper preparation has led to outbreaks of poisoning, paralysis, and even death. The danger hides in the roots and leaves, but careful soaking, peeling, and cooking neutralize the toxin. Still, it's unnerving to think that one of the world's most important food crops has a built-in booby trap. Next time you sip that bubble tea, you might wonder, how carefully was that cassava processed? Number 6. Kidney beans. Kidney beans are a chilly night classic, packed with protein and fiber. But here's what most people don't know. Raw or undercooked kidney beans contain phytohemagglutinin, a toxin that can cause severe nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Eating just 4 or 5 undercooked beans can trigger intense food poisoning symptoms. Slow cookers, surprisingly, don't get hot enough to destroy the toxin. Only boiling for at least 10 minutes will do. So, that homemade stew bubbling away in your slow cooker? If you skipped the pre-boil, you could be serving up a toxic dish. Number 5. Common store-bought mushrooms. We usually reserve mushroom warnings for wild, foraged varieties, but even common button, portobello, and cremini mushrooms contain hydrazine compounds, a mild toxin that breaks down with cooking. Eating raw mushrooms occasionally is unlikely to harm you, but consuming large amounts over time could raise health concerns. Here's the twist. Mushrooms are beloved raw in salads and veggie platters, yet most people don't realize they're technically nibbling a mild natural toxin. Number 4. Tuna is a protein-packed superstar in sushi, sandwiches, and steaks. But lurking inside is a heavy metal secret. Large tuna species like bluefin, albacore, and big eye accumulate mercury over their long lives, which can damage the brain and nervous system over time. The risk is highest for pregnant women and young children, but even sushi lovers and tuna salad addicts should watch their intake. Here's the kicker. Canned light tuna is lower in mercury, but many people don't know the difference. So next time you order that spicy tuna roll or crack open a can, ask yourself, how much mercury am I swallowing with this bite? Number 3. Rice. You've probably reheated leftover rice 100 times without a second thought, but it turns out that seemingly harmless habit might be a recipe for food poisoning. Cooked rice left out at room temperature can become a breeding ground for Bacillus cereus, a bacteria that produces heat-resistant toxins. Even if you reheat the rice, those toxins stay, and they can cause nasty bouts of vomiting and diarrhea. The longer it sits, the worse it gets. And here's the sneaky part. The rice may look, smell, and taste perfectly fine. Number 2. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula. Our healthy staples might not be as saintly as they seem. Leafy greens can accumulate high nitrate levels, especially when grown with synthetic fertilizers. In the body, those nitrates can convert into nitrites and form nitrosamines, which have been linked to cancer. Not terrifying enough, these greens are also frequently recalled due to E. coli and listeria contamination. The irony is brutal. Your detox salad might be sneaking in more harm than good. Most of us never think twice before tossing a handful of spinach into a smoothie. But next time you're blending greens, maybe pause and wonder, what else is hiding in that leaf? Number 1. Potatoes. And at the top of the list, yes, the humble potato. Found in nearly every home, it hides a nasty surprise when it turns green or starts to sprout. That's when solanine, a natural glycoalkaloid toxin, kicks into high gear. In large amounts, it can cause nausea, vomiting, hallucinations, and in rare cases, even death. The toxin is concentrated in the skin and sprouts, but most people don't think twice about trimming them off and cooking anyway. Here's the truly wild part. cooking won't destroy solanine. So the next time you see green skin or those creepy little sprouts, you might want to reconsider turning that potato into fries. Because sometimes, comfort food carries a deadly risk. It's easy to think the food in our kitchens is safe. After all, it's familiar. But as this list proves, some of the most dangerous things we eat are the ones we don't question. From rice to potatoes to your daily greens, knowledge is your best seasoning. So next time you're prepping a meal, cook smart, store smarter, and remember, the danger's not in the recipe, it's in what we overlook.